Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey friends, welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro, and today we're studying Psalm 111. I hope that you're ready to go and to enjoy some fresh and clean Bible study today. We're looking at Psalm 111 this week, and now we're going to see something about the structure of the psalm. We read yesterday verses 4 and 5, which is the height of the chiasm. This is a chiasmic psalm. Chiasm is kind of hard to explain without being able to show you a diagram. In here, we have the pinnacle is 5 and 6, and then we step back, we start showing mirror images of what's come before. So 7 and 8 is a mirror image of 3 and 4, and 9 and 10 is a mirror image of 1 and 2. So the pinnacle of all that has been said is in 5 and 6. He's done these things for his people. And of course, remember, this is a hallelujah psalm, so we're praising God and all that he's done. But it's wonderful to see this structure in here. And not only is the psalmist doing this as an acrostic, but he's also framed it in such a way that it's chiastic in its structure. So now we take a step back, and we're going to see that 7 and 8, as I said, is a mirror image of 3 and 4. So I hope you'll look at that with me. Let me read those for you. The works of his hands are verity and judgment. All his commands are sure. They stand fast forever and ever, and are done in truth and righteousness. You see, we go back to subject of declaration, who he is, what he's done, in the general sense, not specifically. It was more specific and directed to a people in 5 and 6. Now we sort of step back from that, and it's very much like what we had in 3 and 4. In 3, his work is honorable and glorious. In 7, the works of his hands are verity and judgment. You see how that plays off of one another. His commandments are sure. In 7, in 3, his righteousness endures forever. So his commandments being sure is very much like enduring forever. So they're sure they're not going to be moved. In 8, they stand fast forever and ever. In 4, we have, he has made his wonderful works to be remembered. So the standing fast forever and ever and being remembered, those two things are alike. And then verse 8, and are done with truth and righteousness. And then in 4, we have the Lord is gracious and full of compassion. So you see how truth and righteousness compares to gracious and full of compassion. So now you see the mirror image. It's not exact. I'm not saying that. They're not using the same words. Of course, this is an acrostic. He's got to stick to that. That has to be the overwhelming principle that he's following here. But within the principle of the acrostic, he's building this chiasm, and so now we have this image, this mirror image, not exactly, but close, and we get some interesting variation here, don't we, in the image. I mean, instead of honorable and glorious, we have verity and judgment. I like that. So we're told now in this theology here of Psalm 111 that his work is honorable and glorious, verity and judgment. So we have it all right there in 2 verses. His righteousness endures forever. All his commandments are sure. So we know that there's an eternal nature to all that he has said and all that he's commanded. He hath made his wonderful works to be remembered. They stand fast forever and ever. And of course, we could just continue this. I mean, do all of them that way because they work together. Because the antecedent for they is his commandments in 7, they're in 8, and his made his wonderful works to be remembered is, the same subject that we had in 3. So it works very nicely. The Lord is gracious and full of compassion, and they are done in truth and uprightness. So truth and uprightness go nicely together with gracious and full of compassion. So another declaration of who the Lord is and what he's done. Now, tomorrow we'll end with 9 and 10, and we'll see another mirror image that corresponds with 1 and 2. I hope you'll join me then on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.